to have to make an attack.
At disadvantage.
Normal. Because I'm going to use my reaction to make my roll not at disadvantage with restoring the balance.
Do it.
Does a 17 hit?
17 does hit his AC, yes.
9 more damage.
9 damage. Tacking it on there. Just barely hanging on.
And that is all that I can do.
Okay. He is currently mortal. It is his turn. He looks to the two of you and laughs as he but touches himself and heals using all of his lay on hands. I will make the deduction of the amount that he uses. And I will say it is not insignificant. Almost as if nothing has touched him for the entire fight. And he looks to the two of you, holds his hand up. He says, "Enough! Enough. This bout will go on for ages if we continue. You really have been touched by Vane's words, willing to take me down. I wish to offer my services." I understand that I can't gain my honor until I take you down. He's looking to Bjorn. But there is a workaround. If one of us save each other's lives, that also does kind of apply. I was trying to get there in a roundabout way, but I think it'd be better if we move forward together. It is up to you, but I think this fight is done. As he's kind of like, okay, dudes, I use all my healing. Please stop. If one of us go down, I can't do anything. So yeah, it's up to you guys.
You're standing there, prepared to blast him again with just as much force as the last time. But he's not going to. He's going to look to Bjorn and be like, what do you want to do?
Bjorn will drop rage. Because now I can choose to drop my rage.
You couldn't do that before?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't choose to.
Okay.
Before I had to lose it.
Gotcha. Okay.
He'll drop his rage. He'll put his axe kind of like he was at the house in front of him, and he'll kind of lean on it with one arm, and he'll extend his right hand and say, "I'm sorry for the table. It was not my intention to break it. I am, as you say, not the most intelligent, but I figured out something and got excited. So I apologize."
I can understand that feeling. To be fair, I'm not even too upset about the table, or other than it being a family heirloom. The circumstance being that in my domicile, you have broken something in the House of Vane that is a dishonorable action, and one of us must now lay dead, even if but for a second. Because of my odd beliefs in such a quirky fella, as I'm sure you understand. I think whatever path you are going to take will eventually have one of us, feel the sting of the sword. If I hang around, if you don't mind me hanging around you for at least until you gain more protection or company, the two of you alone will be definitely in a hard place out here in this realm. I don't know where you're from, but I come from very early in Earth's time.
Is there anything on this guy that Bjorn kind of recognizes?
No, nothing. He looks prehistoric, really.
Is there anything on the spear that he's got that
It looks
that he would know from like his tribe being passed down?
Yeah, you've seen like ancient Chinese art before, and this is very indicative of that.
Bjorn will kind of say, I would be glad to have another ally as strong as you.
The strong ones are you. I was only maneuvering the essences of the world, the atomic structures that I can shift away from myself towards you. It is but a trick that you learn once you can take a world in a day. He looks to the two
Bjorn will ask what he knows of ancient weapons such as his.
Just whatever we can find.
He will hand his axe to him.
Okay. Yeah. He'll take your axe. He'll sort of investigate it for a while, hand it back, and say, I know not much of weaponry. I am an expert in the land. I'm here to try to save it. Whatever that means. I have been through the trial. I don't know how far along you are in it. I don't know if this conversation is to be had again. But
I am just starting my trial.
I've been here for years.
He smiles and looks to Amir and says, is this the first time we've met?
Yeah, I haven't bothered coming around these parts. I can fix the table, by the way.
It is not about fixing what was broken. It is about that it was broken within the roof, within the protection of the home.
Bjorn will kind of place a hand on Amir's shoulder and go, it's not the item, but it is the honor of one's family that lays on said item. And Bjorn will kind of nod at him like, I totally understand.
Yeah. Eventually, this individual will remove the moat from Amir and essentially get you guys to go inside the house. He'd get into a much quieter location that isn't so disheveled with a broken table, whether or not we can fix it. There are books all over anyways. So he just invites you into his room, which is a little awkward first, but then he invites you into another room, which just has a whole bunch of weapons and mechanisms and all that other stuff. If you've been looking at the map, it is definitely in this place. Where a bunch of weapons and stuff is at. And this is where you guys could basically find out a little bit more information, tidbits that he's picked up about the China pillar he has near no knowledge of it, but he can offer one thing. I will give you guys a choice of what you want it to be. Do you want the knowledge of how to gather all the pillars in China into one location? The second option would be how to break the pillar in China when you get there, whether they're together or not. They won't be if you choose this one. And then the third option is the knowledge to evade problems while in China, effectively air vehicles or anything that has flight capabilities that will definitely hinder the group. Those creatures
we
will
only
be
get-
so that will effectively, if we're talking about like video game stats or mechanics, is kind of like there's like a way, how would I say it? Mechanically, it will lower the chances of flying vehicles or flying enemies, which will be prominent in China because of the whole Cloud City situation, all islands floating and all that. But it will still be around. It's just going to be at the lowest level. You don't know how high it can get. The other two options are obvious. You either know exactly how to break the pillars when you get to them, when you find them. So either you have to go find the 7 of them, or others if there's more, or less if there's less. And you know exactly how to scatter them. You just have to locate them. The first option would be just have them all in one place, effectively, which is kind of
and he's only giving
it's kind of a
choice of
bullshit.
one.
It's kind of a bullshit thing because I'm gonna have paired up. So it's not gonna be 1. It's gonna be 2. So instead of 7, you're dealing with 2.
And he's only giving us the option to know information about one.
You will gain information about each whatever aspect you choose, but mechanically is going to work as we're doing research for that. So like if you choose to have them all in one place, mechanically you'll have them all in one place, but actively in the story what we're learning is, hey, we know the location of every single one of these places but the one off bigger one, kind of.
So since Bjorn did the research, he knows where they're at.
You know that that's the situation. You don't know where they're at.
Okay.
As he is taking you into his secret little den thing with extra books that you did not know of, you gain one more facet of information because you did win the encounter. You don't have to kill always to win an encounter effectively, but surviving is also a very good thing in a game, I think. And again, with this guy, death wasn't ever really an option. He had so much healing that either one of you went down, he would have just pumped it into you. But he's the one who went almost down. He's like, no, fuck this. Guys got him to bloody.
The magical voice in our heads did say that no consequences, we can kill him.
Amir did not hear that though. But yes, enter his weird den of books. You find out one facet of the China pillar. Which is it? You could talk about it amongst yourselves.
Which one do you think? Because he gave us 3 options, and we can only choose one.
I leave it up to you, big friend.
It's your research.
Also, have we by chance gotten a long rest?
We will, after you choose, effectively. Like, we're going to take a long rest. He's going to put you guys up in somewhere in this cottage in a different part of this little city part. But yeah.
I only asked because
What is
apparently this time magic stuff doesn't shut off until a long rest happens. Like, I don't have the ability to dismiss it according to the wording.
Which time magic? The moats?
The base,
the
the
shield?
law.
That's badass though. That's great. You're just protected for a long time. You probably do that from the start of the day, kind of situation.
I
Yeah, you can
can
do it.
actually.
Yeah, and then you can just do it all day long.
But that's a whole lot of sorcery points you don't get back.
Yeah. Up
You
to
get
5.
sorcery points from short rests? No,
Long
you don't.
rests.
Long rest, yeah. It's balanced. Gotcha. Excuse me. So yeah, what do you guys
So, what
choose?
do you think we should know
I'll
oh,
choose the second option.
how to bring them all together?
Yeah.
So you want?
But then we have to figure out how to destroy them.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. If we destroy them, we also ruin the nation/area that they're posted in. Like that those areas are just doomed if we do that.
He said he wanted us to
China
conquer the
one.
world. So and he did say whether it be ruling or destroying.
But it has to happen in a day.
Exactly.
Or literally running, which is also an option.
Fuck that. Bjorn is big and
you want to practice cardio for a couple of years? Damn.
No, he don't know.
Okay. So yeah.
All right, I guess we'll the how to get them all together into
How to gather them.
one.
Yeah. So there'll be 2 instead of 7. Gotcha. Easily done. And again, this does not have to be the first thing that you could accomplish. You could go directly to the pillar that you do have information of, which is okay. Mexico's done. Australia's done. Then you have the other one, but that's that one. We'll worry about that later. The China one, and then the Egypt one. Egypt's one is the one that the coalition of the dragons. So yeah, you guys could either go tackle China right now, which is instead of 7 different major battles or encounters or whatever I had in mind, it is now 2, thus being easier. And the idea is like you're going to use the resources that you've picked up here. Like you guys have like an army at your beck and call currently, so you could just like be like, hey, yo, we need this and that. Bjorn, you don't know this army, but now they could now that they're associated with you. Like Amir is like, hey, this guy's with us. So the guy who gave you shit shouldn't have been giving you shit, by the way. You should have gone to Neon Tusk in 2 seconds. Like, oh yes, grand sir. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't know that Vane had personally appointed you. Oh my lord. Oh, I wish I would have known. We'll ostracize the individual who dared try to keep you away from my resources. And then he'd give you a fucking jet plane just for you to get to China, kind of situation. This is a D&D game, guys. You're on a jet plane.
Slap yourself as punishment.
And Bjorn's flying the jet plane.
Why though?
You have
yeah. And
he has airship proficiency. Yeah.
I'm a motherfucking captain.
He's a pilot. He is a captain too. Yeah. But as Bjorn flies over with the 3 of you, all 3 of you with a jet plane to where do you go? Where do you want to tackle first? You want to tackle the coalition of the dragons, or do you wish to deal with the China situation? The coalition of dragons, you've heard of more. It's more of a debate. It's effectively you have to go and just kind of pacify the group. They've been infighting for so long because they can't choose a leader, and then a leader just has to be chosen, kind of situation. And they're just always continuously like, no, but I want to be the leader because I could be better. And effectively, whoever's the leader is so when Earth breaks finally, it'll leave like a whole bunch of pieces of rock in space, right? Dragons are just planets that are reborn to a degree. So like dragons usually when they procreate, it's this very long process of finding a place to nest and then finding a mate if you haven't found the mate already to get the place to nest. And these nests usually they have to be big. So planet chunks are good, mountains are good. And usually when it comes to like solar systems this old, most dragons have already developed space flight. So it's like a lot of dragons are pretty excited about like Earth breaking, and they're like bidding for space for nesting right now. Is this whole weird situation that nobody wants to know the pure details of. But
So should we do the coalition then, Amir?
That might be best.
Do that and then go to China and deal with that?
Yeah, China can wait.
China.
I mean, we have a fucking jet plane. It shouldn't take us very long to go from Egypt to China.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking do
So
it.
Egypt it is.
Egypt
Yep.
it is.
And while we're
Coalition.
in his weapon room, does
Mhm.
Bjorn see potentially the other half of his axe?
Half of whose axe? Oh, your axe?
Remember? Yeah.
No. You don't see any hints or traces of it. He has very limited knowledge of weapons or specialty weapons. Like the only thing that he has is any sort of special thing is his pole, to be honest with you. The rest of the weapons that he has are mundane. He probably has a +1 dagger hidden in a drawer. Amir, could you roll a D100? Let's see if we can get you a +1 dagger. That's
Does he have a hand axe?
No. That's the lowest weapon I've ever given you in this game. I swear to God, guys.
90.
It is a +2 dagger.
Hey, I got a dagger +2.
Yep. For your
Amir needs that shit.
Yes, he does, for those attack of opportunities.
Let me just bitch slap you.
With a knife now.
Yeah.
Okay, Egypt it is. You guys know exactly where to go. You have all the details to where the meetings are happening. This meeting has been going on for like several hundred years. You guys are invited via Vane, and thus the stone dragon statues that were like in front of the doorway, they sort of said, who invites you to the dragon's den? And you were like looking at each other, and it said Vane, and then just it opens up and you guys could go in, and like the first sight you see as you're entering is just a bunch of bickering dragons, and is this one speaking right now, saying, yes, but if it is I who was in charge, I will ensure that everyone has a good meal. And then the one down here says, yes, but I will make sure that I have proper bedding for everyone of status copper and higher. And then like 3 of them are just like barking, like upset and shit. And yeah, what do you guys do?
We took a long rest, right?
Yes, both of you have taken long rests.
Back at the full health.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are not gonna get on a plane bloodied as fuck. I'll tell you right now.
Which means I also gain my rage
And
points back.
and you don't have exhaustion anymore.
And I gain my charge back on my axe.
Wait, we lost both levels?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Amir will raise his hand and say, may I be in charge?
All dragons turn to you as Bjorn's axe is shaking with vigor, feeling dragons. And as you all can see, these individuals, these scaled, furred, or otherwise made up of something you can't discern creatures, are in a form that does not look quote unquote dragon, but as this space seems to be thinner, smaller than most would prefer in their natural state. There is this massiveness to the aura of each of them. They seem to be almost country-sized. Small countries, but massive. Not in visage, but in reality, in their true form, whatever it actually would be. So huge,
So they've done kind of
gargantuan.
that
Godzilla
lady
things, if anything. Go ahead.
I was gonna say they've all kind of done what that lady did, where she kind of went from her dragon form and took like a smaller form
Yeah,
versus their normal size.
yeah. And
Okay.
as vain as they are, while many dragons in the future, Bjorn, are more into civilization, more involved with civilization. They are protectors, if not pure antagonists, yet still sort of in a kingdom-like, as if they want to take it all. These individuals seem to be more complacent in their status. They seem to be more territorial with their beliefs, and as there is notes of scratching and etchings of like the solar system, and it's like, hey, this part is actually going to be part of this, and we're going to actually divide it up like here because you guys like this area and we like this area and we like this area. But Earth, nobody actually had taken part of Earth. Like, a lot of us lived here, but no one has utilized its resources. Like, we were always just like using the pets around here. Now that Earth's gonna break up, that means there's gonna be nothing left alive besides the things that can survive in outer space, which is all of these dragons, these massive creatures that you can already tell are but a percentage of their size at the moment. There's this air of indifference to whatever happens to the people here, and they look to Amir and say, it will be, let's say, this guy. And he says, and do you have a draconic bloodline?
It could.
They sort of look at each other. A lot of them are snarling. One of them sort of stamps their foot on their large claw on the ground with this massive rock to sort of get everyone's attention. Does one made up of kelp or some sort of plant or what have you, a lot more wet than the green dragon here, who seems to be a tree, bush, or what have you. And he says, with a very delicate voice, saying, pardon, but you would be disqualified immediately if you are not a dragon and cannot become a dragon from that form. And I see clearly that you are not any sort. But you are a third party, and we have yet to see one in a millennia. May I invite you in, please? I don't know if you are vampiric, but you are invited. Please enter.
Bjorn will kind of, like, if Amir's hand's still up, he'll just kind of like put his hand down, like, just stop. And we'll kind of like coax Amir with a hand on his back, like, all right, let's go.
All right, let's go. Famous last words. Where do you go?
Bjorn's going right there. Right to the middle.
Okay. So I'll say you get like right here for now. Kind of like this whole place is a mess. It's like difficult terrain walking anywhere past where you're standing. You're kind of in a good pedestal. The only thing that's weird is like you are walking over like dried bones of a person that seem to just like almost burst into dust the moment you step near them. Like you didn't even step on them. You just realize that, oh yeah, this is like the pedestal for the small folk.
Is there
And I
any bones
consider
that look
myself
semi-fresh?
No, they are definitely all very old, and it is just a set of bones of one person, and it disappear the moment you land on them.
Bjorn will kind of look at Amir and kind of nod toward him like, you opened your mouth, you speak.
You're more familiar with this. You speak.
Oh, we don't need
Bjorn
you to speak. We just need you to balance out the decisions. What were we saying, brothers? One of them clears their throat, kind of upset. And then the individual says, and sister, and then they do continue now. They say, great. Now that we've all been acknowledged, I will begin. And they give you a story. They tell you the tale of Earth. They inform you of the making of Excalibur, the bane of the dragon, the wailing sword, they call it. For strike it upon any who seek evil, Excalibur will force them to cry, despite their lack of fear or constitution against pain. Evil is the only requirement you need, and Excalibur will expose you. They tell you this whole tale while sort of giving you the history of how Earth was created via the capturing of several lights of fire into one. Because when the universe quote unquote began, and that's a weird statement. Like one of them goes on a filibuster telling you, so technically like began is the wrong word because it never ended and never had a start. It just always continues. And like one of them just stops them. Is like, we don't have time for that conversation. Like they're just arguing about that shit while then the one lady dragon continues on. So you're hearing like this entire argument while she continues speaking of how when the fires sorry
would definitely be irritated and would kind of like him leaning on his axe, like kind of dozing off, and as they start arguing he would kind of sit there and be like, oh, and kind of lift it and slam it onto the ground to get it to kind of like resonate through the chamber.
Yeah, their voices are too loud. It's just they continue bickering. Like she's talking over them because of that kind of situation. Like as she continues, she does say this. When Ohe was created, again, the fires are so hot in the universe that nothing was being born. Almost as if her heat was too oppressive. And it just kept building and pushing, and it just kept being more immense than it had to be. Yet that gave it a bit of a shine. There is this like a streak of light to everything because of it. When Ohe was held for the first time, closed away from everything, Earth was created in what felt like an instant, but to many was not. As Earth built itself over time, collecting more matter from space that just drove itself separately, it eventually found its home within a solar system and was the precursor of what we recognize today. This prison Ohe found herself in, but nothing but an egg proper for Earth, or more so Ohe's cage, is meant to hold up until the moment when the universe is destroyed by her. A long, long time from today. They tell you all this and they say, but that is not what is happening. And I'll just continue with what they're saying, actually. What will occur is because these humans with their greediness and then the Fey realm that seeped in their way, they kind of passive aggressively look towards one or two of the dragons here. But then back to you. They allowed this prison, this cage of Ohe to be siphoned of its energies. It is now no longer strong enough to hold her, but that is not our recourse. We will send her away, but the rest of Earth will linger. That is what we wish for, and no one has claim or domain of this place after Ayala. But she is nowhere to be found. And they're sort of just like the words echoing around. But yeah, that's what they say. They give you a whole story and tell you the area, the space that is basically Earth does not have a claim or kingdom, and once it is destroyed, the space dragons will want the territory. They just need to split it up properly, so there's like no warring, or possibly maybe just one person takes care of it and then they like rent it out for like nesting and shit.
So are they still bickering with each other?
They're quiet at the moment.
Bjorn will can he slowly try to make his way here?
You don't have the space. These dudes are on the wall. They're like basically on top of each other. They've been like scrapping. You don't want to get in that space. Let's put it that way. Like, you want to roll initiative? Go ahead. Get in that space, buddy. Is that kind of level. There legit are 8 dragons on top of each other talking about like, hey, no, I want to fuck there. No, I'm going to fuck over there. I don't know what to tell you.
Bjorn will kind of look at the dragons, and having faced several and having learned about them, he will kind of stay leaned on his axe and go, all of you present are powerful. All of you present wish to have your own domain, wish to have your own nesting right. But yet, none of you can figure out where each one wants without it being a fight. So if Earth does explode, wouldn't that cause all of you to have your own piece to call home? Your own private realty? Wouldn't that settle all of your debates?
When Earth breaks, more space will be available. that space is empty. New space, unearned space, gravity, without gravity. That is what we seek. We all want the bigger piece, but nobody wishes to give it up.
So if I were to tell you that I plan to cause Ohe to be free, thus giving you each what you so desire, your own peace, would you assist me?
They all look at each other. What would we care about little folk stuff? Ohe will break the world. We earn it at the end. But I want the bigger piece. Then the other one goes and chimes in, the one up here, and says, no, I will get the bigger piece. I get Earth. And then this one says, no, it is my namesake. I earned it through my love through Ayala. It is mine. And they're just arguing again.
Bjorn will take his axe.
So Bjorn, yeah, you're understanding that they're not fighting for, like, everyone's gonna get a piece of whatever's left after Earth. What they all want is the bigger piece. It's kind of like they all want to be the one who got the bigger one, so that they could lord it over the rest of them. That's
And
it.
Bjorn will look at it as they're arguing and bickering amongst each other. He kind of gets frustrated and will slam like the pommel of his axe against the ground.
Yeah.
And are you going to have me, because I want to kind of cause it to where it, he releases the lightning and fire and stuff out of it to kind of get their attentions and get them to shut up.
No, I mean, there's honestly no need. They're arguing for a minute. It's gonna take like 4 minutes for them to start arguing, and eventually they tire themselves out, and then they're just gonna like sigh and then look around the room and recognize that you are still there. Amir, do you do anything here?
Why not allow me to pick? I am non-biased. I know not any of you. And I am also one with the natural order of the universe. So why not allow me to pick who gets the biggest piece, quote unquote?
How will you pick fairly? One of them says. You're not sure which one. They're all sort of like grumbling right now.
And Bjorn will kind of lean over to Amir and be like, if it is big enough, why don't they share it? And he'll stand back up, leaning on his axe, like, just a thought.
It is a thought. How will I pick fairly? Okay. How about this? Yeah, did each of you tell me your names?
One of them says, my name is Axion. The other says, I'm Devor. Trium is this one. We're going down the line from here down. Axion, Devor, Trium, and they all give you sort of draconic names eventually down the line. And once they've all said their name, one of them chimes in. We've spoken too much. Now we have to kill them. The other speaks, no. They could take the trial. Fine, the trial then. Fine. And there's like a lot of whispering that is definitely not whispered.
Okay.
So yeah, they all tell you their name.
Amir's going to close his eyes and do his own internal thoughts, or I guess you could say internal meditation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, perfect. There's 8 of them.
Yes, they are.
What was this one's name?
That one is called hold on. You gotta give me a minute for that one's name. Hold on. He's called Lux.
Lux.
Lux. Lux. All their names sound like they shortened it, by the way. Like they don't want to give you their full name.
He's going to open his eyes, and he's going to point towards Lux. And he's going to say, Lux, tell me why you believe you should get the largest piece.
If I was to gain the largest piece, I could ensure that access, travel through and from the system will be available to all. For a small pittance, of course.
Why a pittance?
To cross past a dragon of my stature requires as much if my kingdom is walked, flown, or passed by without a pittance. Even the smallest grain of dirt you can offer. I must seek vengeance. It is ingrained in my soul, I'm afraid.
Now look towards Bjorn, and I'll say, I felt to choose Lux. What do you think?
Bjorn will kind of look at Amir and go, well, if it is a large enough piece, why don't they split it?
They just start arguing. The moment you talk about splitting the piece, no, don't break the nest. They just go fucking off. This is on another level. The only one not arguing is literally the lady who's like, oh, they're not gonna do that, you fucking idiots.
And Bjorn will go, because if the piece is large enough, then it wouldn't take much to cause said piece to explode or be sent toward the sun. Then they don't have it. Then there is no more arguing.
They all give each other a quizzical look. Then most of them just start laughing. So it took like 4 minutes for the arguing to end, and then you got to say that. But the laughing, could you guys roll me, one of you roll me a D100, your choice.
I'll do it.
Go for
it. 96.
I'm not sure how to make this a good outcome. Okay. It's about, they laugh for a whole hour, where you guys can't get a word in for a whole hour. So if you guys want to like eat some snacks, do something during that. They eventually die down. Half of them falling asleep. But the sleep of a dragon is very non-sleep. They are definitely aware while they sleep, at least in the first bit of it. And they sort of like conk themselves out, right? But the three of them that are up, Lux most specifically, because he's been sort of pointed out. They would say collectively, unfortunately, we don't believe that you have any knowledge or awareness of what it looks like to go outside of the graviton of a planet. The sun or the solar that we refer to it as, or you guys refer to it as the sun for some reason, you think is like a child to yours. No, it's your parent, in fact. It created you, well, technically Ohe and it, but we don't talk about all that. It is not a factor matter. Nothing's gonna reach the sun unless we decide to. And then half of us, we prefer the sun anyways. We'll throw the planet in there to probably harden it if we wished. But that is not the concern. We wish not to break the biggest egg. We want to make the biggest egg. One of us in there will be rebirthed, reborn, created godly. It will be game-changing.
Do I still have the key, one of the keys of Aiello?
Unless you had a physical one, no. So you have to have an actual literal key and not one of the belt ones. The belt ones are gone.
But I have
Actually,
something
no.
from my...
Actually, no. The belt ones became real regular wands. Yeah, they're not Aiello keys no more. Actually, yeah. Sorry. It would have to be a natural made Aiello wand. Do you have a wand that I gave you mechanics for?
No. Remember, I gave that to fucking Ronnie.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know which one he had. Besides that, the only one that I know has one is like the Cure Wounds one. Yeah. So yeah, you'd have it. Yeah, you have a wand of an Aiello with what was it? 3 charges of Cure Wounds, first level.
Yeah.
That is always with the group. One of you always have it in a game, and I don't care who has it. So you guys can decide right now, the two of you, who has it. Maybe
So one of us can just have Cure Wounds.
a Cure Wounds wand.
It's an Aiello
with 3
artifact.
charges. Yeah. It's always with the group. Just like the bucket, theoretically.
I mean, I guess me. So some of the
Yeah,
magic
all right. You
curse.
got 3 charges of Cure Wounds in the wand.
Because the reason I ask is because all the dragons kept bringing up Aiello.
One of them did.
But the other ones seemed to kind of like...
Roll their eyes
The
to
way
it?
you-
Yeah. No, they roll their eyes
Yeah.
to it.
So Bjorn would kind of look at him and go, so you wish to have the biggest piece, to have the largest egg, but yet none of you are willing to compromise. None of you are willing to relinquish your smallest piece to have the biggest piece. So therefore, that would mean that you have 2 to everybody else's 1. Now, doesn't seem very fair, does it?
The claim.
Therefore, if you want the biggest piece, you must get rid of something you hold dear.
They all look at each other, pondering your words. And Lux says, "A deal to be struck. I understand then. Whoever does attain the biggest piece will become binary, an esper in all essence, but not without a mate, of course. Now, this would mean one more. The one with the smallest piece. I believe a collaboration between the two would be the best thing to equalize the kingdom. What do you say? Everyone sort of is nodding to that. And then they all sort of look to you.
So as I see it, amongst all 8 of you here, who represent, I am assuming, the 8 remaining dragons, correct?
They nod.
Okay. There is but one female amongst you.
She
Am I
chimes
correct
in.
this too?
We represent our clan.
Okay.
I'm simply the charge of my clan. I represent both, male and female.
But
As
how
they
many
do,
more females are in your clan?
just as many as theirs. It's indifferent. She just happens to be the only female leader. That
And
has
Bjorn
nothing
will
to do with
go,
anything. The thing and situation that they're talking about, using what premise you brought up, is they have to create a kingdom with the 2, one at top and the one at the bottom, whichever you guys decide. So whoever gets the biggest egg has to make effectively a princedom with the low, whoever got the shit end, so that they're protected.
Exactly. So Bjorn will kind of look at the female dragon and go, you are the leader. And out of this room, you are the one that gets to choose your mate. You are the one that has to lay the egg. None of these males lay an egg or have the right to choose. You choose the nesting site. You choose your partner.
Earth is different. This situation is different from...
There is no difference.
No, she's explaining. This is different from like the normal way that they usually procreate. This is effectively literally turning them, whoever is going to be picked, into effectively a god dragon type entity, using the planet as they're going to be dormant for a while. They do technically need a partner, and it's like both of like their bodies become one kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. But that's what he's saying. Is he?
But is not. They're not really having sex. They were just joking. It was. They were just being dickheads.
Yeah,
but
they still
then
have to have
technically
that
also
partner.
like the rest of their race is gonna be definitely taking advantage of the coitus that is gonna be available with the smaller pieces that they will eventually, because those aren't gonna turn them into gods. They're gonna turn them strong, but not like you know. But the big piece, Earth, like whatever the bigger piece that is left, the one with the most mana left, like there's gonna be smaller, huge chunks that could possibly turn some of these dragons, if they do some finagling about it, into higher level creatures for sure. But that big piece, oh man, that's gonna turn something into a god for sure, especially if they know what they're doing with their magic.
Bjorn will kind of look at Amir and go, this might be stupid, but I want to see their answer.
You want to what?
He's telling you that he's gonna probably do something stupid, but he wants to see what their answer is.
Okay.
And so Bjorn is going to, can I get to at least right here? So like these little stairs?
No. The lip is the limit. Like they're not all in a formation. You get me?
I know, because like if I reach something out to them, can they one of them grab it and they can pass it around?
Sure. You see a massive claw reach over.
Bjorn will sit there and kind of lean on his axe, and he goes, "You all have been around for a very long time. You all are very wise in your ways and with your magic." And he will pick up his axe and go, "Whichever one of you can tell me exactly what this axe is and does gets the bigger piece." And he'll hold his axe blade side out.
Okay. So some of them are gonna make an attempt. The ones who made an attempt failed. The other ones seem disinterested. And they say, "Do you think these guys could be trusted? We might not even be talking to the proper ones. They're probably just going to die like the last one once they make that decision. It doesn't make sense." And they're just arguing. I'm not going to change their voices because I don't feel like it. And eventually Lux just says, "It doesn't matter what recourse we take, what decision they choose. They still have to take the trial for us to follow their word. Let them go through it."
Bjorn will kind of step forward and take his axe back and go, "Then give me your trial. When I defeat it, whoever I choose gets the bigger half."
Yep. So they all get out of your way to let you go down the hall, each one of them clinging to the walls specifically so that they aren't hindering you. The question is, what do you do?
Bjorn will gladly take the trial, but it's up to his two compatriots if they want to join him.
I am also willing to take the trial. And I'm curious how much time is left in the session though, because I'm starting to pass out.
No, yeah, we're done. We're done. I just wanted to get you guys in the next room.
Okay.
So go on. Make your
Amir
walk.
will take the trial.
Yeah, Bjorn will go take the next trial.
I would like you to walk 10 feet at a time, though, Bjorn. You know, just 10 feet. It's all cool. Doesn't have to be that slow. Where you see each one of these dragons that sort of look your way, some of them snarling, others passively staring, ones without eyes. All of them, in some way, shape, or form, magical or natural. It's so much of both primordial realms, magical realms, death realms, light realms. There's auras of radiance for the one that seems to be connected to Ayala, this one here, while darkness resides on this creature. While not exploitative, as darkness is part of life, without it we cannot be able to find the light. But as you make yourselves down a, what is it? It's a set of stairs that lead to a brazier. There's a crossroads ahead, and this we will find out about next week, because I hope they don't make me work on Friday. I have to double check that shit actually now. But yeah, that's game, guys. Good job. You survived the Dragon Coalition. It takes you about 4 hours to walk all the way down here. And then you blip in front of Vane and he says, "What have you learned?"
No shit.
Dragons
Really?
You
are
forgot?
big.
Oh, you guys forgot. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Next game, yay!
I was gonna say,
Two.
Don't worry, you'll run through the
Is it
little
all
dragon
winning?
deal a little faster next time.